A quirky story from Texas, featuring a video packed with all the classic elements: cemetery exploration, local legends, and paranormal investigators fiddling with their equipment in the dark. In the town of Huntsville, Texas, there's a statue of Christ located at the back of a cemetery, which has gained local fame for its seemingly supernatural tricks, though it's commonly referred to as Black Jesus due to its darkened bronze over time. The statue has been guarding the grave of a child who passed away in 1923. Now, what captures people's imagination are the stories that the statue's eyes sometimes appear open and at other times closed. Additionally, the hands are rumored to change positions from palms up to palms down. To get to the bottom of this mystery, a local news team decided to enlist the help of a few paranormal investigators for a late-night investigation at the cemetery. The investigators used their equipment to detect unusual activity and reported picking up some intriguing paranormal frequencies. Despite their efforts, the statue stubbornly refused to exhibit any blinking, winking, or waving, leaving the crew with more questions than answers. A statue sitting on a throne appears to follow a museum visitor with its head for about 7 seconds as they walk by. The footage is shaky, so let's focus on these still images instead. In the first image, you can see the statue's head slightly turned to face the visitor as they enter. By the 47 mark, the statue seemed to be staring directly at the visitor from the center of the room, and roughly 20 seconds later, another statue was captured in this still shot, seemingly raising its arm. A family visiting the St. Joseph Oratory in Montreal believes they just witnessed a statue moving in their video. To catch the supposed moment, you gotta pay close attention to the figure on the right at the start of the video, and particularly its hands. They claim the statue was clapping with joy, while the other statues remain still. The footage quickly shifts to another statue as well, which also shows no movement. While some might find their account convincing, I suspect the effect is likely due to the phone's video quality. This phenomenon, known as pixelation, occurs when low-resolution video creates fuzzy or blurred sections. It's very possible that upon reviewing their vacation footage, they mistook pixelation for actual movement. I'm not suggesting they're fabricating the event. I'm just saying this might be a case of misrepresentation due to video quality. What are you guys' thoughts on this one? In 2016, a statue of Sai Baba sparked widespread speculation across India after it was reportedly seen shrugging its shoulders, even causing a piece of clothing to slip off. Now, the most logical explanation is that the garment simply became loose and eventually fell off. However, at the 24-second mark, the statue seems to subtly roll its shoulder, as if to nudge the clothing off. And what's particularly strange is that at 45 seconds, just when everything appears to have settled, the clothing suddenly jumps off near the statue's hand. Did the statue move again? In my view, it's possible that a draft or air conditioning could have caused the garment to shift. Or maybe it was gravity, but I'm not too sure. So we have another intriguing case involving a Jesus statue in Mexico that has caught my attention. What's going on with all these statues down there? Filmed in northeastern Mexico, this footage features a large statue of Jesus carrying the cross that seemingly moves its head. While it may appear to move, it's likely not due to any supernatural forces. The statue is probably constructed with movable parts and dressed in fabric that hides its inner mechanisms. The debate over whether this is a hoax or a miracle is perplexing, man. Why can't things just be what they are without any extreme interpretations? Do we have to choose between being naive or overly skeptical? Or can we approach some things with common sense? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'll be glad to hear them. This video, filmed during a service at a chapel in Saltillo, Mexico in June 2016, captures a startling moment when a statue on the wall appears to open its eyes and gaze at the viewer. Initially, I thought it was just a camera coming into focus, creating the illusion of the eyes opening. It also could have been a trick of the light. However, a still image at 1 minute and 4 seconds in clearly shows the statue's eyes completely closed. Another image, taken just 6 seconds later at the same distance too, shows the eyes wide open. Now, my best guess for this, aside from camera or light effects, is that this might involve computer-generated effects. A paranormal investigator visits Oakwood Cemetery in Huntsville, Texas, aiming to make a supposedly haunted statue move. He instructs the statue to raise its palms, but from my perspective, them hands is completely still. What do you guys think? The investigator then conducts a final, straightforward test to determine if the statue has any potential for movement. So, is the sound we hear just a forest, or is there something more happening at Oakwood Cemetery? Alright, so it seems that Mexico has more Jesus statues than it does people, and each one seems to be involved in its own bit of theatricality. During another vibrant procession, typical of Mexico's elaborate Catholic parades featuring statues, costumes, and floral displays, it appears that float designers are pushing their creativity to include moving parts. This innovation is causing quite a stir online, with many people reacting as if these statues are coming to life, rather than seeing them for what they are, as part of a theatrical performance. While the idea of miracles is captivating, it's important we have to remember that moving sculptures and theatrical parades are simply artistic expressions. The statue's movements are likely intentional elements of the performance rather than supernatural occurrences. Even if a statue's head turning seems unusual, it's most probably just part of a show, especially if it's during a parade and is designed to enhance the visual spectacle. A large crowd assembles to sing in front of a statue, and eventually, her mouth appears to move in sync with the lyrics. Over 100 people claim to witness the statue blinking and singing along. Over 100. It would be intriguing to see this recorded with a high-resolution camera, but there's just no way. I suspect the perceived movement has to be an effect of video grain rather than actual animation. Who would have thought Buddha had a flair for conversation? I always imagined him as this embodiment of serene meditation, peace, and quiet, but this video suggests otherwise. Apparently, Buddha's got quite the verbal repertoire, even if no one's around to hear it. The footage in question is a shaky, low-resolution snippet captured on a cell phone, but it's generating quite a buzz. With its cinematic qualities, it could easily be mistaken for a dramatic Oscar contender. The video is so poorly shot that it's almost comical, blurry and unsteady, making it tough to discern any actual movement or detail in Buddha's mouth. Could it be that this video is simply a case of shaky camera work, creating an illusion, or perhaps it's an elaborate piece of fake footage? While it's easy to dismiss the video as a product of poor filming techniques, there's still a part of me that wonders, is this evidence of Buddha's unexpected conversational abilities, or is it just another dubious piece of footage? Here's a statue with a chilling backstory that might just make even the staunchest skeptic, like me, reconsider. Set in the eerie atmosphere of Veracruz, Mexico, this tale unfolds not in a church or during a procession, but in an abandoned theme park. My personal favorite kind of spooky location. The park in question is Reino Mágico, which translates to Magic Kingdom in Spanish, though I may have butchered that pronunciation. Reino Mágico is infamous for its haunting reputation, largely due to its past as a cemetery, before it was converted into a theme park. Legend has it that while many coffins were relocated to a new burial site, some remained behind, leading to a slew of ghostly activity. Stories of unexplained deaths and curses circulated while the park was still operational, adding to its sinister allure. Now, as the park decays and becomes even more eerie, reports of strange occurrences continue here. Among them is a Snow White statue that allegedly blinks, adding to the creepy ambiance. It's hard to deny that this abandoned park is filled with unsettling mysteries. This statue is believed to move its eyes repeatedly, drawing thousands of visitors eager to witness it for themselves. Some claim that the movement is captured in this video, with one observer noting a possible blink, and I can see what they mean. Another person suggests that her left arm also moves, though I don't notice it. Despite my skepticism, the fact remains that thousands have flocked to see this statue, and they're all convinced that it moves. So perhaps, maybe I'm the one missing something here. In Vietnam, a massive statue was reportedly seen moving, drawing a large crowd of villagers who lined up the mountainside to witness it. One observer stayed behind, zooming in with their camera. At 1 minute and 54 seconds, the group begins singing. And by 2 minutes and 20 seconds, the statue is said to have come to life. At around 2 minutes and 33 seconds in, it appears to extend an arm and gently embrace the crowd. The cameraman, who is visibly emotional, films as the statue's stone robes seem to transform into soft, weightless fabric, fluttering like angelic wings. This raises the question, did the statue's robes truly turn into fabric, or was something draped over it? If it were a sheet, surely someone would have noticed it. At 3 minutes and 58 seconds, a hand is briefly visible, peeking out from under the robe, as if giving a modest wave. And by 4 minutes and 35 seconds in, the hand is gone, and the statue has returned to its original, unmoving, stone state. Here's a tale about an ancient Egyptian statue that's far from a Hollywood horror. This small statue of McS&x, displayed at the Manchester Museum in the UK, has caught the attention of many after CCTV footage appeared to show it rotating on its own. The video led to plenty of speculation about curses and hauntings, as such phenomena tend to stir up excitement and mystery. And interestingly, the reaction to the statue wasn't as dramatic as you might expect. While Catholic statues often spark debates about miracles, the response to McS&x was more measured. It turns out that the cause of the statue's movement was far less supernatural than a lot of people might have hoped for. An investigator, aptly titled a television mystery solver, conducted a thorough examination and discovered that the statue's movement was due to external vibrations, and these vibrations were caused by the nearby traffic and heavy pedestrian activity. And the time-lapse footage with vibration data overlay confirmed that the statue's seemingly eerie behavior was simply a result of the environment rather than any paranormal activity. It's honestly a bit of a letdown, but sometimes the truth is honestly less exciting than the legends. In the video, a statue appears to strike another statue with a trident in the dead of night. but I find this claim hard to accept. The statue's unnatural movement suggests it could be special effects, and the camera cutting out precisely when the trident makes contact seems too coincidental to be genuine. But while witnessing such an event in person would be undeniably eerie, it's the only way I'd be convinced that this video is authentic. A viral video from Good Friday shows a statue's head seemingly moving during a song, which is quite unsettling. The eerie moment happens as everyone in the crowd is fixated on the statue, and it begins to suddenly lower its head. Now, what's puzzling about this footage is that no one in the crowd reacts. No one stops singing or makes a sound. They continue as if this phenomenon is completely normal. Like if this event is genuine, this tells me that the statue either didn't move at all, and this is CGI, or that this is a group of people who has witnessed this before. A viewer in the comments of this marble statue video asked, "Yo, did this statue move?" Others seem to agree, but I'm not too convinced that I could see it myself. At 45 seconds in, the Snow White statue apparently sways a bit, but if you look closely, it's likely due to camera movement as well. Perhaps this is what people are referring to? What's your take on this one? On July 28, 2019, reports circulated claiming that the Redeemer statue in Brazil developed a heart with beating chambers that pulsated rapidly. While some may want you to believe this, there's just no way. And it's actually a projection designed to raise awareness about heart issues. I had to clear up any confusions about this one. What do you guys feel though? Were you initially fooled when you heard about this? Or did you recognize it as fake from start? Reports emerged from New Mexico claiming that the Our Lady of Guadalupe statue began moving on its own. Witnesses have observed the statue crying tears of sorrowful joy on 4 separate occasions. These tears, which do not seem to dry, were still visible the following morning, suggesting that the statue may be crying continuously throughout the night. Close-up images revealed that the tears flow from a natural angle as well, originating from the center of the eye as the statue holds its head slightly. Scientific analysis found that the tears' chemical composition matches that of a specific olive oil used in ceremonies. I don't know what to think given this information and the video evidence. What are you guys' take on this? Do you believe this is genuine or fabrication? One of the most iconic statues globally, Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, stands majestically with arms outstretched, overlooking the city. Now, typically, the statue remains still, not prone to dramatic gestures. However, these two images might suggest otherwise, hinting at a playful side, where the statue appears to direct traffic. On the left, an image supposedly untouched by digital manipulation shows one of his hands raised. On the right, the hand is in its usual position. It's a curious sight, and while the hand's movement remains a mystery, it adds an intriguing twist to this well-known landmark. In this video, a fervent preacher shouts loudly, apparently in an effort to awaken a statue. His booming voice is so intense that it seems almost designed to stir a response. The preacher's enthusiasm is undeniable, but his loudness raises questions about its necessity, especially since everyone is standing right in front of him. The video captures the preacher as he passionately encourages his small but enthusiastic congregation to help him coax the statue into opening its eye as a divine sign. After a moment of intense fervor, the statue's eyes do indeed open, revealing a strikingly intense and somewhat unsettling gaze. Now, this supposed miracle, though impressive, may leave some feeling uneasy about the angel's rather stern expression. Yo, does anyone else find this angel's look a bit unnerving? Like this was the wrong thing to do?
最清楚，看了，
The claims of the Chinese Guanyin statue blinking inside the Lingquan temple are apparently real. Sometimes this blinking effect happens from shaking the camera, but at 42 seconds, the phone is still, and the statue still does it.
这一天还非常明显。
It still blinks. I also hear temple bells, so this could have been taking place during an actual ceremony. However, I'm pretty sure that this blinking has to be from a grainy video, because there's no way. And the background looks to be moving in a similar way as well. This video, with its relatively high resolution, captures the statue seemingly moving its eyes between 8 and 12 seconds. The statue's heavy eyelids appear nearly closed. As the person recording pauses briefly to adjust the lighting, the statue's eyes seem to open. While witnessing such an event in person would be unsettling, this has to be a clever camera trick involving angles and lighting. Initially, the statue was filmed from a low angle with dim lighting making the eyes appear more closed. When the angle shifts to a higher viewpoint with better lighting, the eyes seem to open up more. It's an interesting effect, but I am very skeptical of its authenticity. What do you think? A lot of people think it's real, but does this seem real to you? So, my name's Michael. Thanks for joining me again today, guys. And remember, everybody, be safe.